Heather Rocklin, and I'm traveling with Michael Berlinstein and Renee Rocklin for the Brooklyn Methodist Hospital, where Grandpa Berk is now staying at. But he's not a Methodist, he's actually very, very Jewish, and he's lived here for a very long time. He was an immigrant from Europe as well as his wife, Elsie, and we'll be meeting her too, and we'll be hearing a couple interviews. To the right.
That's because you
Go down.
You're going down from the apartment. Let's whistle. Take a load off. You can walk across that bridge. Look at it. See the work, the lattice work,
I'm Heather Rocklin, and I'm here with my wonderful grandfather, Murray Berk, and we are going to do an interview on Murray Berk and how his life has been up to this point. Grandpa, because he is my grandfather, how old were you when you first came to America?
By 18, 19 years.
And you came by yourself?
Oh, I came with two sisters.
Two sisters?
Yeah, do I have to speak louder and look at the camera or just look to you?
And anything you want.
I came with two sisters. Yeah, and when and the youngest was
Take off your hands
Shirley.
from your face.
Oh, when I need the brush is there.
No, they're not. They have.
Oh.
Okay.
I came with the two sisters. The youngest one was Shirley, and the oldest
And Shirley.
in Elton. So I came with two sisters and came to my mother.
And you were the baby?
And no, Shirley was the baby.
Oh.
He's the middle one.
I'm the middle one. And Shirley was the youngest. And then I came, and then Elton came.
And where was your mother when you came?
My mother took us over. My mother came to the United States.
Before you?
Before us, and she took us over. She actually tried her best. I must give her a lot of, she didn't rest here. As soon as she came here, she went to her brother, and she went to the family, she raised money, and she made out papers, and she became a citizen. How she became a citizen, I don't know, but I think she married a citizen, and became a citizen. She went to Congress later, and she visited. Yeah, I must give her a lot of credit for a woman without college education.
Without knowing the language.
Without knowing the language.
She spoke Yiddish?
Oh, she spoke Yiddish. In fact, when I came to her, and she spoke to me a few words, one or two words, I thought she knew the language. And they all left. Then I found out she didn't. That's all she knew is two words. But the whole time she was here. She brought us over. And I must give her a lot of credit. If not my mother, I would be caught in the Holocaust.
Yeah.
I went out in 1932, just when Hitler starts marching in Germany and organizing the Socialist Party. And then it turned out to be that they wanted to conquer the world. So I made just in time, a year before, that if I wouldn't go out this year, I would have to go to the Polish army. Then I would be caught in the war. And then just the last year that I could have gone out.
Where was your father? Because your mother came here and...
My father died in the First World War. When at that time, the First World War...
After the First World War.
Right after the First World War, the Germans came into my town.
To your town?
Yeah, and then the Russians came in at that time. I think it was already the revolution in Russia. The Bolsheviks came in, and they caught people for work, and they caught him for work, my father.
They caught him for what?
For work.
Oh, to work.
And they took him in the field, and when he came back, they beat him up there. Somehow he didn't live too long, and he was sick since that time. And when he died, I must have been 10 years old.
And he,
Maybe 8 years old.
And he died.
because I became bar mitzvah at 12 years. The reason he became bar mitzvah at 12 years because you're orphan. So at 12 years I was an orphan already. I remember when my father used to take me to school, to Hebrew school, to Cheder, as you call it. I remember I must have been 3 years, 4 years old. He carried me on the shoulders. I still remember that time. Sometimes I do remember. So he died a young man. My father died a young man.
Because the Russians made him work in the
The
fields?
Russians, the
No,
Germans,
the
it was the
Germans,
First World
the
War.
The Germans made him
Yeah,
work in
I
the
don't know
fields.
who called them, either the Germans or the Russians.
You
So-
told
so
me,
they-
you
so
told
they
me
put
the,
him in-
the Germans caught him and forced
Forced
labor.
forced labor.
Forced labor, yeah.
It was forced
Not only
labor.
forced labor, they made him work, and instead they gave him work, they beat him up. I don't know, maybe what happened there, I don't know. He came back, he was a sick man already, till he died. I remember I was across the street, he was sitting on the sun in it was hardly breathing. They knocked his lungs out.
Oh.
Somebody gave him a beating. I don't know who gave him a beating.
And he died from a beating.
Well, it took a couple of years, not right away from the beating.
But that's what made him sick, though.
That made
Yeah,
him sick,
that
definitely,
made
that's no question about it. They made him sick. Who did it, who brought him, who fired him? I was too small to know
Yeah.
at that time. I must have been not older than 8 years.
But it was Germans or Russians that forced him to work?
I don't know. It
These-
was on the
Oh,
First
He
World War.
told me
Okay.
Germans.
It was Germans, the Polish, and the Ukrainians, and the Russians. It was a war. I don't remember the First World War. I don't remember. I remember the Germans came in because the Germans used to wear hats, iron hats with a point on top. So I remember this year. I must have been about 7 years old, or maybe a little longer. Wait a minute, 1917. I must have been in 1910. I was maybe about 7, 8 years old. And I remember the hats they used to wear. So I remember that was because I remember another thing I remember. My father came into my school, which I was in a private school, one person, like a rabbi, had children in his apartment, and he taught the students in Hebrew. And he brought me in a bread I should take home. And when I took home that bread, and I passed by, before my house was a station, a German station. And 2 dogs ran out and ran after me. And I threw the bread, and I ran away.
And they left you alone.
And they left me alone, I know, but then the Germans came in and they caught him back. And I threw him away. And I came home, I didn't have the bread. And the bread meant to feed a few children in the house. There was no food. Although my mother tried to get some land, and she raised vegetables, potatoes, carrots. And we had more or less, we didn't have any food, but we didn't starve. I mean, it was first people was raised in ours, and we were. It was people, but one thing I do remember that time, I must have been very young, that we took off some potatoes from the garden, and we made a hole, and before the holidays, Pesach, Easter, we took them out and we had potatoes, so once I took out, maybe I didn't know I protect them too good, I was too young, I took them out frozen, and when I started eating them, they tasted sweet, so I threw them away, I couldn't eat them. And since that time, in so many years, I still don't eat sweet potatoes.
Oh.
Because anytime I touch a sweet potato, that
Reminds you.
reminds me that I took out the potatoes from the
hole in the ground.
In the ground, the hole in the ground. We put it all in the ground, we put on straw, we put on potatoes, we close the straw, and we put on knife. And
Right.
it was good. But at that time, I didn't make it good, but I was too young.
Yeah, it was too sweet.
It was very sweet.
It was frozen.
It was frozen and very, it's a
Terrible.
terrible taste.
Terrible.
A terrible taste. A sweet terrible taste.
Yeah.
Since so many years, I still don't eat sweet potatoes. You could ask Elsie. Ask your grandmother. Yeah, she doesn't give me sweet potatoes.
Daddy,
So
Go ahead.
you can ask.
how old were you when your mother left you in the village
Well, how
with
did-
your sisters.
How did you know that the Germans were coming? Like, how did you realize that it was time to leave?
Well, I don't know. We
No.
just saw him there. I didn't realize
No,
we
no,
to smoke
no,
to
no.
nobody. But,
No, she's speaking about after when Holland, how did you know? Because they were, you read in the papers, the newspapers.
no. Which we mean the
You
First
mean
World War or
later?
the
No,
Second
no,
World
the
War?
Second
For
World
the
War.
second. How did you?
Oh, the Second World War.
Yeah.
You were alert.
They were
Well, the
lonely.
Second
You
World
read
War.
about it.
I wasn't a small boy. I was young, but still was already a teenagers. I went to work already.
Right.
I went out to trade, and we had
You read papers.
we
you
had
knew.
papers. We
They had
knew what's going on.
radio.
And, we knew that sooner or later there's something going on that it's not pleasant.
And they knew that you knew that they were going to take you away, the Jews. So they knew that.
Well, I have to be, if I would be 18 years old, I would have to go to the army.
To the
I did-
Polish
to the
army.
Polish army.
Oh,
Yeah.
And I didn't want to go to the Polish army because the war came up.
yeah.
So I figured if I want to go to the United States, I wanted to go there. My brother was here, my mother was here,
Right.
and the family was here. My mother had two sisters here, and she had a brother here, which I ran around to them to raise money to bring us over. After we came here, she probably gave him back. My mother gave back everybody, every dollar she could, she lended. She gave back everything. It was lucky. And I
She
think
was
my
lucky she got you out.
she got out just in nick time. If I wouldn't go this year, in another year later, but I went away in March. If I wouldn't go away in March, in December I wouldn't be able to go. In November I wouldn't be able to go. Maybe 6 months later I wouldn't be able to go. They would call me to the army.
Daddy, how long were you living without your mother?
2 years.
About 2-3 years, that's all.
Oh,
I
so you
lived
were
with two
leaving-
No,
sisters.
2 years. 2 years
So
only.
were you living from the age of 15 to 17 without your mother?
Yeah,
No, he was
that's
more
it.
than 17. He
No,
was
but
by 18,
between
19.
by 15 to 18, already later on, I was 17 when I went out before the 18 was actually like now. Let's say before New Year's, I was 85. Now, after December 20th, I'm 86.
Okay.
Right.
Daddy,
You know what? Just a few years later, for maybe it's not 85, 86, it's 83 and 84. I don't know what it is.
how young were you when you started working?
Oh, I started learning the trade. I was
13?
probably about 12 years, 13 years old.
Okay, and
She
how,
gave herself for a years or two to learn how to learn.
How to tailor.
How to learn.
How to
I
sew.
paid for nothing in the beginning for 2-3 years.
you were an apprentice for 2 or 3 years?
No, just to learn the trade.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not so
It's
easy.
called apprentice.
Yeah.
apprentice.
And then when you start getting paid, I was already went into a place, a good tailor, a very good tailor. And I was working all 6 months. And I asked him to get paid. So he gave me material and he made me a coat. And then I sold the coat. I got paid. That was my pay for 6 months.
Wow.
It was a different world in my young age.
How did your mom know to go to America? How did she figure out that what was going on?
Oh, the
No, she
economy,
went because Uncle Max
Oh,
was
because
in
the
here.
economy
Was
yeah,
bad.
it was very hard to make.
because you lived in a ghetto, in a Jewish ghetto.
No,
not a
it was
Jewish ghetto.
It was a big town.
It was,
It a big
in my town, was about 80,000 people. And it was...
18,000 people.
18?
Yeah.
18?
Yeah, 17, 18,000
yeah, right.
people.
That's
correct.
Jews,
small.
Jews.
No,
It
but
was
yeah, it
Gentiles.
was 80,000 Jews.
Yeah.
And it was about $25,000 population. It was about $7,000 a Gentile.
And
20.
It was a Jewish town. It was a
Not
Jewish
dollars.
town.
Not $25,000.
20,000, 25,000 people.
Yeah,
25,000 people, 17 or 18,000 was
Jews.
Jewish.
80,000
Mostly
yeah, it was about
Mostly
7.
Jews. It
Yeah,
was
because in the town,
a Jewish town.
in the town was Jewish people. It was everything was Jewish people. In fact, in most Gentiles spoke a lot of Yiddish, and a lot of Jews didn't know how to speak Polish. More than once you live there. Even now, I still understand Polish. I forgot how to speak it. I don't speak Polish, but I understand it. It goes back. It wasn't a happy opera gig. It wasn't a luxurious opera gig.
Everyone in the town was very poor.
Yeah, but my mother
Not
did the best. I
everybody.
must
There
give
was
my
rich
mother.
people too.
I could give my mother a lot of credit. I remember she went around in the villages, not the towns, the villages, and she used to dye clothing.
Dye linen.
Right.
They
Linen,
used to
linen.
make linen by
Right.
hand.
So she brought on.
them.
She dyed the linen, and she instead of brought them money, she brought them chicken, she brought them eggs, she brought them all kind of farm products to the children to have something to eat. So we ate food, but we had to work hard.
Yeah.
Once I remember when I was very small, I went in with my mother to a village to see how she dyes things. So she would take a big kettle and put it on wood, and as the water started boiling, she threw in the dye, and she threw in the linen, the clothing, the sheets, whatever they wanted to dye. And she got paid for chickens, they got paid once they gave her a goat.
So they
So
bartered.
they
bartered.
traded food for the linen.
Yeah, because they didn't have money.
Yeah.
They also didn't have money. They had their farms, they made a living, but they didn't have any money
Yeah.
to
They
buy
lived
things.
on the farm. They had
They lived
farms.
farms.
Right.
So she went around the villages and she worked for them. And she brought them a lot of stuff. She brought the eggs, and then she brought eggs, then she went to the market, she sold the eggs, she knew people that she delivered the eggs. And sometimes she brought in goose, no?
Goose,
Yeah.
goose.
I say geese. She brought them two geese she brought them. And they brought them ducks.
Ducks.
She brought them. So we had all right when my mother, she worked very hard. It was,
When
she
did
worked
Uncle
very hard.
Max go to America?
Oh, you went away much earlier.
And
That's his brother.
he went away in 1923.
He went away much
And
earlier.
he was the first to go.
No, he was the place.
He was a young
Even out also, my mother's trying, the brother, she kept on
17
writing
years.
letters to our brother. The brother sent papers for my brother. No sooner my brother came in, he established himself, he sent papers for the family, for my mother. We couldn't all come together, so my mother went first, and then she sent papers for us, and we came to the mother. So
And you were the last one to come.
I my two sisters.
Right,
was the
right,
last one,
right.
yeah. And when I came, I think I came in 1932, I think Roosevelt was elected that time. No sooner, my mother was a citizen already. And my mother was a citizen. No sooner I put my foot on the ground, I became a citizen. The same year I came, it came in November, I voted already. But if I didn't vote, I was legally, I could have voted. Maybe I didn't understand. If I didn't vote, I didn't understand how important the vote is. But I mean, that time, Roosevelt was elected president, 1932. That's why I know 1932, because I came in 1932. I remember, I came in 1932, Roosevelt was elected, then it was in 1932.
Well, what was it like when you first moved here? What was it like when you first moved here? Where were you living? When you first got off the ship?
Oh, in Manhattan.
Oh, Manhattan, that time Manhattan.
And you found your parents right away? Your mom?
His mother was married.
My mother, no, that's why she became a citizen, because she married a citizen.
Was she
Otherwise,
Jewish?
she couldn't bring her over.
Was the citizen Jewish?
The man Jewish?
He was
Sure.
Jewish.
Oh, I'm asking.
Sure, there was no question
Did,
about
but
it.
did he speak Yiddish?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he did.
Oh, yeah, my mother spoke Yiddish. My mother knew a good Polish because she used to go to the villages and trade for. She spoke very. She traded with them. That's the way she made the peasant. That's how she made a living.
So your mother spoke a good Polish,
Oh yeah, my mother spoke good Polish.
but she never spoke a good English.
Oh no, no. English she never learned. She came
Well,
as
she
not a
wasn't,
youngster.
she wasn't a
She
youngster.
wasn't a youngster when she came here. In fact, when I came, she was 2 words she spoke. I thought she... Yeah,
What 2 words did she?
I don't remember, but I know that I thought she...
Yeah, all right.
No, I thought she
Is
speaks
that
a...
her?
No, I thought she speaks a good English. My cousin, my mother's sister's boy, when Paul started laughing, I said, "Why are you laughing?" He didn't want to tell me, but then I find out that he was laughing because I thought she speaks a good English. And that's all she wanted. She did not speak English.
And was the man that she married a nice man?
Well, she didn't marry a youngster. She married
She had an older man.
Older
Yeah,
people.
older
so
than her.
Anyway, I don't know if we didn't have anything to. Then that would be nice. If we came here, we started that way. We all taught my mother that later. My mother didn't have to work with her.
What happened?
She moved in with me.
He died.
She
He
went
died. The man died.
Oh, maybe she went.
I
She went
met
in
the
with
man.
me.
I knew
Elsie
already.
was very good with my mother, and they came out very nicely. In fact, when she moved, Shirley gave her an apartment. Shirley had a 4-family house.
Well, let me explain it a little bit.
She gave her an apartment. She didn't want to move out from
Let me
Elsie.
explain.
No, that's just me.
Yeah, explain. His mother had to get married in order to bring her children.
Right,
Oh, yeah.
right.
No,
So
that-
she
that-
married an older man. When the children came, they couldn't live with their mother. They didn't live with their mother.
Why?
They did. They
That's,
did.
Daddy
they
told
did.
me they didn't live with their
Oh,
mother.
sure, they
We
did.
had an apartment for a very short while. But we
With
had
your
an
mother?
apartment.
With you?
Let's see, if I go to work right away, not right away, but I start working, yes. I
did?
started working
You did?
because my brother's father-in-law had a shop.
Oh.
And I went in to see it and helped them out.
Frida's parents. He
And
worked
so
by Frida's
I
parents.
worked for them till I became a little more Americanized. I went over to the garment center and I got a job in the garment center. I became a union man. And I got a better job and I made a living already.
As a tailor.
Yeah, as a tailor.
No,
You-
operator.
But you didn't know.
That's a tailor.
No, yeah,
No.
operator, but you have to
No.
be, I wasn't a tailor. My work was not by hand. A tailor is working by hand.
Yeah.
I work by machine. So by machine, to work by machine to make a garment, you call the operator. But you have to know the garment. You cannot, if somebody knows how to work a machine, that doesn't mean they become an operator. You have to know the garment. And because I was a tailor, I could put on the garment anytime.
How was the working conditions?
Well, conditions wasn't bad, but it was very hard to make a living. I know
No,
my
they
sister
changed.
Shirley went to work for
Right.
$6.
Oh yeah, I know they
for,
changed.
for $6 a week. And that's all I worked maybe for 6 or 8 hours a week. That's all I got that time. And it was hard to make a living. But later on, the time became better. And don't forget, that Roosevelt became, I tell you,
You know,
the Union fought.
you couldn't work for less than 40 cents an hour or, you know, something
minimum
like
wage.
that.
They-
They made a
I don't remember
everybody.
that. I don't remember that.
Oh, yes,
But I do remember.
yes.
After I went to I went out from that the shop because I didn't make too much money there, and I was more or less I spoke not good English, but I spoke
A little
English
bit.
already. I went up to the garment center. I went up the union. I asked them for a job, and they gave me a job. And they gave me a job. I went over. They tried me out. Something they gave me to make a little pocket or something. And they saw the way I do it. They hired me right away.
Because you were
And
very
they gave me a good wage. In that time,
How old were you then?
Oh, I was already for 19 years that time.
Did
19, 20.
Did you ever go to
Why?
school either in Poland or in
I
America?
went in night school. I went in the United States. I went to night school.
To night school?
Night school, yeah. I went to work and then I went to night school.
So you got a high school degree?
No, not
No.
a high school degree, but I got the
Public
after
school.
the public school degree. And after that, if I would continue in daytime, I would go to high school.
Oh, I see. So it's like elementary.
Elementary school
Right,
in
right,
the
right,
evening.
right, right. So that's how you learned how to speak English.
I speak English, you know, more or less. They taught me how to write a little, not too well. The writing does not develop overnight. The
Right.
writing takes a long time.
Spelling.
And spelling and writing. And I wrote, mostly I wrote Jewish.
Right.
So we had to write letters to somebody, all my friends, I wrote them in Jewish letters.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time because I didn't go to high school. If I would go to high school, I would probably be better off.
Right. You never went to high school.
No, I didn't have a chance. I had to
Yeah.
go to work.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had to work. I had to go to work. Went to school, and went in after, I went into the union, I was elected as a union officer. I had to go to school, I had to bring in the high school degree.
So how did you do that? How did you?
I went to special schools, they sent me to special schools, and I passed the degree. And now they passed the test, but they had to give it to you. And once I got there, they gave me a job.
So they gave you a high school degree.
Well, they gave me a high school degree, but I didn't equivalent high school.
Yeah.
Equivalent.
GED.
Yeah.
It's called
GED.
GED.
The equivalent that I could go, that I could work for the office.
Right.
And then when I started working for the office, I gave out some Spanish people, a lot of girls that time went to work as examiners in people, and I had to go to school, over to a special school a few hours a day to learn Spanish. So I had a paper and I wrote down about 10, 20 words, and then I sit down, and people came in and asked me for a job. They gave me all kind of jobs. They gave me several prizes for the operators. They gave me a job. Every business agent had to give in the morning, go in and sit down now to give out jobs. So I had to learn. Spanish people came in, and I had to learn a little Spanish. So very few words. I asked them what kind of work you do. So I keep classic trabajo. What kind of, so they told me, give the examiner, so my aunt, or the machine, and I gave him the job. Whoever called in for a job, I sent them there. I didn't know if it's good jobs or bad jobs. In fact, in my career, I gave one person a job. He turned out to be one very good job. And he became my friend in later years. I met him when I was moving away. He said, you gave me a good job. I said, to tell you the truth, when I gave you the job, I didn't know if it's a bad job or a good job. It turned out to be a good job.
They say
I
there's
said,
nobody like that. They still talk to him. What a fine man he is. What a
Because
great
I
man
didn't
he is.
discriminate.
nice. It
See,
was
I
nice.
didn't discriminate to nobody. I gave him, if a firm called him for a worker, the first worker came in, he fitted the job, I sent him there. Whether it was good or bad, that was up to them to send them away or to accept it.
Right.
They
Right.
didn't care about their race, their religion, anything.
No, I didn't make, I wasn't prejudiced with the race, religion, anything. He came in for a job, if it was in the books, if he came in, I sent him.
How old were you when you met Grandma?
Oh, I think it was 21 years already, I'll see. Was it 21 years or 28?
Yeah, you worked over 21 years.
When you got married or when you met?
Oh, we've been around for a couple of years. We couldn't afford to marry. That time there was a depression time.
Yeah.
We walked around. I don't know. When I made the wages, I made that time $35, $40 a week.
Right.
When I get married, and then maybe 50. They thought I'm a millionaire, but they don't know that I only make that wages only in season. And right after a few months in the season, I couldn't make a penny. It was
Well, let me explain.
Certain seasons?
no
My
work at all.
father was out of work for about 3 months a year because it was all
It was,
seasonal work.
It was what's the name, the governor, but I forgot, but it was unemployment insurance.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you didn't work, you got unemployment insurance. So you
They
got
still have
I
unemployment
think
insurance.
$12 or $15, I don't remember how much you paid.
But they still give you money even though you weren't working because
Yeah, but
you worked the rest of the
again,
year.
It wasn't as much.
I wasn't
you
as
know,
much.
if I made it's only but 3 months a year, there was no work. I had to learn later on. I had to learn to work for dresses. It wasn't. I went to work for ladies' coats and suits. It wasn't ladies' coats and suits. It's like time. I went to dresses, and then I became active in the union and was elected as officer. And that's the time. Thank God. Now I'm glad I became an officer.
And then
Because
you got
at the
married
time,
after.
from the trade, is not much at all. It's very little. And in the retirement from an officer, it's much better.
And then you married Grandma after you became a Union officer?
No, but I married.
That was a long
I
time.
married much
We
before.
were married already.
It was very hard to make a living when I was married.
You, no.
It was very hard to make a living.
You remember when that became out? I think you were
A teenager.
sure. I think were you were.
In 1967, when did we go the first time to Israel? I said when I came back, I became a union. 67.
It's 30 years ago.
I became a
30
union
years
officer in
ago.
1967.
He was
Oh,
a
so
very
that's-
depressed operator. Daddy was a
Uh,
very depressed operator. He didn't like the work anymore. Or
He hated.
he hated the work.
He
So
didn't like it.
when so you from 67 until you retired, you had the union position, the officer position?
Well, I worked I worked in the union for 11 years as
So-
an officer.
So
And
okay.
I get my pension according 11 years.
So like 67 to 78?
Well, it's about 78. 78 I retired.
Yeah.
78 I retired.
So from right. But from 67 until
He worked
77.
11
I
years.
worked 11 years I worked in the trade. In my pension,
in the union.
my pension is according 11 years. If I would work longer, but at the time, I would work a few years longer. They needed me. In fact, after I retired, they called me in for one job to set prizes. But they needed me. I would work longer, but they passed a law that 65 years most retired.
oh.
And so I retired. And they need me, so I retired to 66.
How, you met Grandma dancing, right?
Huh?
Well, let me ask him a little bit.
Sorry.
I want to know about your politics, Daddy.
You what?
Your politics?
Politics?
Politics.
When you were a young man, you were...
Well, I was a Democrat all the time. Even though the union was more a socialist party, but they're very liberal. Even now they go with the Democrats.
Yeah.
Because we had, what's the name, the party, the Labour Party. They used
But
to.
you were a very big socialist in your youth.
At that time, was the Socialist Party was very, I think, was a strong party at that time.
Yeah.
The union participated in it. But but I was always a Democrat, as I remember. All my years, I was a Democrat. And I'm still here.
How about all the organizations you worked for?
Well, that's already private. That's not to do with politics. But I worked as the
UJA.
UJA. I raised
And the bonds.
in the bond office.
The Jewish bonds.
So I worked for a lot
Israeli
than
bonds.
our organization. That's a private organization. That the people.
Non-profit.
No, not the people from my town came together. They organized the organization before I came.
From your
But-
hometown?
Yeah, when I
In
came.
Poland?
Poland. When I came, the organization was already
Established.
established. So I became a member right away.
And you knew lots of people?
And I knew a lot of people and became active in the UJA. I helped, I knew how to speak. Because if I wouldn't know how to speak, I wouldn't be able to be a union officer.
But-
So I raised quite a lot of money for the bonds, for the
But
UJA.
the organization from your town was called the Miss Richards Young Men's Society.
Ms. Richard.
Oh, it's only men. It's only men.
No.
It was-
Men want members, but the wives is automatically were members. But they didn't have to pay dues. The men paid dues.
Oh.
But the women didn't have to pay dues because automatically, if the husband is a member, she's a member too.
Yeah.
If she goes to a meeting, the husband, the wife comes to the meeting too. Wherever function is, they were entitled.
And that organization helped a lot of people from Ms. Rich settle.
The trade?
No, the organization from Ms. Rich helped a
Oh,
lot of
Ms.
Jews
Rich,
settle.
they organized Ms.
they-
Rich
they helped.
Relief Committee. In that time, they needed. They had a lot of people. They sent bundles to Europe. It was that
They
time.
were hungry.
It was the
After
organized.
the war.
But
So they were sending supplies to Europe,
They
to
organized
the town in Poland.
the relief committee before I came in. And when I came in, I became a member in the Musician Society, which later on became president of the society. And we helped the UJ we raised a lot, we did a lot for the UJA. At that time, we had 500 members, so we could make appeal to them. We had special people when I made an appeal. It just I called them up on the telephone. I called them. They already they gave me a check right away. Today, there's not. It's very hard to raise money. And besides, there's no people to come to a meeting.
The young men are all gone.
The men are all gone. Today a meeting coming 8 members is a big meeting. Sometimes there's nobody. Even I used to come to the boardwalk summer. I left the car. I used to live in the Bronx.
Right.
And I came to the ocean. I left the car and I took a walk on the boardwalk. I met 50 people, maybe more. I met people.
A friend.
Friends from the trade, from the organization.
Right.
If I didn't see them, they saw me. They called me over, because now after I leave now by the ocean, I go down. I don't see
Nobody.
It takes in a blue moon. Once a blue moon, I see somebody that I recognize. Now they're not even there too. All gone.
Now, how many people did you help from this rich settle in the United States and in Israel after
Well,
the
they
war?
not the organization helped out wherever they war. They didn't send them any place. If they were in Israel, they needed help. Israel had a relief committee. If a lot of them is richer there, which they helped out. We sent help to the committee. We didn't know the individuals. He said they tried send us in once, lately they sent us in at least on a holiday. They came principal sugar. So they sent us at least who needs it. We send it direct to them. But mostly we send it direct to the committee. Now they all died down. There's no committee there. There's very few people.
So is the organization still existing? Or it's
There's
not?
no people.
So
It's
yeah.
existing. The organization is existing. We still have user bound in the organization.
Right.
We still do have
We
bound.
have about $70,000.
Well, they're close to it. They're not 70, they're 60. We
No,
helped
we
out.
have over 70.
We bought a lot of bonds.
I got the bonds.
We had a lot of bonds. We sold a lot of bonds. In the individual also bought bonds. Even in appeal, people bought bonds. It was an active life. I did figure it for the organization.
But there aren't many.
I was
There's
involved in the
records
Jewish, not only, but the Jewish people help. I was involved in Israel, and then we had a fear. Somebody came over. They came over to me. Some people I remember was from Cuba. They came over from Cuba. 2 people they needed help. We helped them. And we did the best we can. You know, it's a small organization. We're not government. It's only a kind of deal. We used to make beat. The theaters, not beat. It's a relief committee. We used to take a show. We would sell tickets around. I remember they take them in and I bought tickets. And I came to them. The organization did a lot of it.
Right.
That's right. Now, if you ask me something, I'm glad, in the golden age, we speak about we purposeful, everything we do later, no time. It's what you don't do in the youth, you can't do in the golden age, you can't do anything. If you're sick, I'm glad that I could walk around with a walker. So, today we make a meeting. I used to call a meeting at my house. And now they're friends. I appoint somebody. My vice president died, so I had to appoint somebody for vice president. So the meeting in his house. There's not enough to take a hall because not enough people to come. Too expensive. To take a New York a hall, too expensive. So no people coming. So we decided no people coming. Might as well make something in the house and make a house. If there's a coffee, something, even what organization still exists, and we do the best we can.
Are you still president?
I'm still president. I'm still president, but there's nobody to be a chairman of. There's no meeting. If there's a meeting, can you still open the meeting, close the meeting?
And you talk to
Huh?
yourself?
Well, there's as many people who come. If you
There's still around 10 people
if
now.
you come, if you come
That's
from
right.
5 people, 8 people, so you speak to another 10 people. It's still a meeting.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it's still a meeting. Everything is decided can be decided by the meeting. The executive boards come together. We still have the 16 people, the executive board does society because we don't go meetings. People don't come.
So you live the life.
If they don't live in New York, they all live. We have members all over Florida, in Mexico, all over.
Oh.
You know, where they call a meeting, they have to take trains. Once a year, the Leaf Committee, they call me up, Vice President, Executive. My Vice President, Society Executive, in the Leaf Committee, he was President of the Leaf Committee. He makes every year a gathering, a luncheon, a gathering, a meeting in Florida. So call me up, and I call up my friends, what I know, also Miss Richard. If we come together, we have a nice, we have a 30, let's year they have over 25 people this year. And in this time, sometimes we have, that's going to come from all over. I don't know where they live. Some of them live in Florida, some in Brooklyn, some in New York, some in Mexico, some in the mountains. And some in almost the Canada, we had a very active society. It's rich committee in Canada. They all died. Mostly, there's nobody there either. There's a few people, but the same thing is here. 2, 3 people running the society. There's nobody, they all died out. It can be forever. You gotta be accepted whether you like it or not. You gotta be accepted. You know, when a person's walking by the way, it's gonna come to end. Nobody lives forever. That's life. But you have to do the best you can in life. You can't just be a root to a friend who needs. And then a person who needs, you gotta help. Regardless, certainly if he's a landsman, he's a friend, he expects to be helped. But there's plenty of people who send in, for the nations, we still send some people which I don't even know, but they just the name. There's for blind people for organization, for blind people, for elderly people. They keep on, there's different organizations that they send in for help. The individual special that comes for the holidays. Your grandmother sends in a nice few checks every holiday. Comes the New Year's, and it comes Hanukkah. She sends out plenty of checks, as much she can. All right, she could send in more with that. We send in as much as we can. And she, besides, every Friday she lights candles. She throws in, how much you throwing in, we light candles?
Yeah.
So it accumulates.
Usually at 6 o'clock in the evening.
Okay. Good luck.
Salute.
Good luck. Yeah.
So Murray Berk lived the life of.
Yeah. Now I got everything here, so the only thing is I got a soft stool. Shall I take it out of the soft stool? No, it's soft. I don't need that now.
I was
If you don't
say something to the.
Oh, and they are okay. The good luck. That's true. It's not risky. It's medicines, but for good luck, everything. Good luck is good for everything.
Oh, Michael Berlinstein, here we are at the Berk's residence, Grandma and Grandpa's house. Come on in.